First, we cheers. In the eyes or 7 years of bad sex. Don't want that. And so we take a little sniff.
I'm just kidding, guys. It smells good. It's really strong.
And we're already going off to a good start here. So welcome back to another Whiskey Wednesday. Today I have a very special guest. My better half, my muse, my lover, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But this is Kendall Aubrey. Not only is she my fiance for everybody that doesn't know, but she's also a super talented photographer, primarily wedding photographer, and also a first-time whiskey lover. And I say first time. Sorry, did I talk over you?
No, go for it.
Oh, first-time whiskey lover because why?
You're going to change my opinion about it today?
Yeah.
Oh,
so she
gosh.
is not much of a drinker, and I'm going to not make her an alcoholic, but I'm going to change her mind about whiskey.
Let's see this happen. I don't believe it yet.
Okay, so I got a special whiskey for you. I feel very short next to you right now. I'm like trying to stand up straight. Let's nope, it goes back down.
Do you want to switch spots?
No, then I'm gonna be too tall.
You want to switch chairs?
No. Okay, I feel like a little child next to you. Okay, so today we are drinking Rabbit Hole. I gotta read the thing. All right, today we're drinking Rabbit Hole Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And also, a little fun fact, they got a little tag right here. It says San Francisco World Spirits Competition gold medalist. I got this whiskey for Kendall because, if I remember correctly, it's actually pretty smooth, pretty light, and hopefully we can
Drink it.
drink it for her. Do you have a little bit of water?
No. I gotta
Okay.
get a water bottle.
Yeah, go grab a water bottle real fast. She's gonna need it. So a little fun fact for all you guys that are new with whiskey is that if you are finding whiskey to be a little too intense because it is a little bit of a developed taste to it and experience, the best way you can do is you can take a little drop of water and put it in your whiskey before or after you pour your whiskey. So a very small drop, like a dropper.
Like a dropper.
Yeah, so maybe like stick your finger, you know,
Okay.
like that.
I can do that.
Make it a little sweeter. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a little sweeter.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting because, to be fair, we hang out all the time,
By all the time, you mean
24/7.
all the time.
And I don't really know, there's not much I don't know about you. So we're going to try to make this seem like I know nothing about you. I'm going to pretend like I don't know you, Kendall.
All right, let's do the drop technique. Really? Like that much?
Like a little bit more, maybe for you. No.
I'm not going to stick my finger back in and forth.
No. Oh, let's put the bottle here for our sponsors. We don't have it.
All right, like 4 or 5 drops. We got this.
Okay, so next tip is you always take the water off of our table. This is a whiskey table.
Excuse me, guys.
I'm just joking. That doesn't matter. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to hold up your glass.
Do I have to hold it like in a certain way?
I don't know.
Can I hold it like this?
You can hold it however you want.
How about like
I think you hold it down there.
just don't think about it too much?
So for wine glasses, actually, if a wine glass doesn't have a stem, that's like a big no, because what happens is if you hold it, you warm it. But who cares? It's however you guys want to enjoy it is really the reality of anything.
Do it a fun
Here.
way.
Yeah, so first we cheers. In the eyes or 7 years of bad sex. Don't want that. And so we take a little sniff.
I'm just kidding, guys. It smells good. It's really strong.
And we're already going off to a good start here. So for people that are starting out whiskey for the first time, it's going to be a little bit
I have the
intense
water.
for you to, sip a harder alcohol without chaser. I'm not talking to her like a child. She just never drinks. This is literally just me walking her through it and
Once
you guys.
in a blue moon.
And so what you're going to do is when you put it into your mouth, you also want to breathe through your nose. So you go as you put it in your mouth, and that'll take away.
Okay, like that.
Like this. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
You can laugh, but if you're laughing, you might choke on your whiskey. So, okay. So ready?
How long till we actually get to try it?
You can drink it whenever. I just talk,
Mm-hmm. Guys, smells like college.
No.
This is for learned doctors.
Yeah. These are for people that read books.
Should
I will warn you, it is a little bit stronger than I remember.
I told him if it tastes strong or if it tastes smoky, I am not going to be drinking it tonight.
I thought this was lighter. The problem is
Great.
it really depends on the mood you're in and if you've drinking another whiskey beforehand.
Oh, okay. So let's drink this and then we'll have another glass and then it'll be light.
Your second sip will always be the easiest.
Oh, okay.
And then your fifth sip is even easier than that.
Oh, I bet.
Rules of whiskey
then
drinking.
Then it just falls into your mouth.
Remember to breathe through your nose, suck in. So what are you tasting?
There's like a burn going on in my throat. I taste some hints of caramel.
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, score.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you
It's whatever you want to taste.
Well, I taste like vanilla, caramel, rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, it comes off. It's interesting. The heat is definitely really in the middle on this one, I'd say. So like when you're doing your next sip, like really think about it. Like think about where the first flavor that you feel. Think about where like you're getting the burn, and then figure out your after flavor as well.
Do I have to take another one? Just kidding. Let's try it.
This is Whiskey Wednesdays.
Oh, Whiskey 101.
Or Margarita Wednesdays. I was gonna do that, but then the whole point of my show would have been out the.
What was I supposed to do on that sip?
Think about it.
Give me a second.
We might have to do that again.
Oh
Okay.
man, my whole tongue's on fire.
Mm.
Oh, that's the burn you like?
But
I don't know
it's
how
working.
you drink this every night. Now I understand what you're drinking when you drink whiskey all the time.
It makes me feel alive, Kendall. Right?
Yes. I was like, must just taste like iced tea or something that just sips on it nightly. Like
This is how much she knows about alcohol.
I had no idea this is what it tasted like.
So, okay. So again, let's try it one more time. We'll talk about it, and then I'm going to go into talking about you.
Oh, okay.
So,
One more sip.
well, I mean, you have to finish it, but
Okay.
this is Whiskey Wednesday.
You might have to finish it for me.
Think about it.
Thinking.
What are you tasting?
Whiskey? What am I supposed to taste?
I don't know. Is
it
there
a trick
anything?
question?
Does it bring back any memories of your fond childhood?
Yeah, it brings back memories of college and just smelling the bars. Like people's breaths. I'm good.
Okay. Well, I will give you guys the descriptors because Kendall is apparently out.
I don't know what it tastes like. I'm not the expert here.
Nobody's an expert. So I feel like the beginning of it is like a little bit of a cinnamony, and then not too much in the fact of, because I hate cinnamon. I'll tell you right now. Maybe it's not a cinnamon I'm getting. It's more of like a toasted barrel.
Yeah, toasty barrel. Mm-hmm.
Toasted barrel. But then the heat comes in at the middle, which is interesting to me. And then the end is you're finishing off with like a little bit of a sweeter vanilla caramel. What you were picking up, caramel, I don't know.
Yeah, the heat's
taste,
in the middle.
which is interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, well, because sometimes you'll get a kick of heat right at the end, or you'll get it right in the beginning of your face. The middle is an interesting spot.
I got it 2 times that time.
Well, is it working? Oh gosh.
Maybe. My eyes are watering. Oh.
So for those of you that haven't tuned out, now we're gonna dive in a little bit about Kendall. So, Kendall, you have your own photography business, correct?
Correct.
Yes. I have some questions for you on this whole process because your business is actually really new comparatively, and I have a lot of viewers that they are new in their entrepreneur business ship or whatever you want to
Endeavors.
call it, and I think I'm a little bit weathered now. I'm like a weathered dog, right?
Yeah, old soul.
Yeah, I can't even remember what it used to be like. No, but I just want to I kind of want to ask you because it's probably fresh in your mind. If you guys don't know, like I said, Kendall is a wedding photographer. She started her business at the beginning of the pandemic, and which was not the best time. It was during lockdowns, right? Yeah. And now is thriving with. You're booked out for what, the next 2 years?
I'm all booked for weddings next year. I literally have barely any time in my schedule to add anymore. I don't think I have a free weekend after starting April and ending in October, so that's fun. No travel for me. No, I'm gonna make some travel out of it, and some of my weddings are travel, which is really nice. So you can kind of mix your bucket list goals, bucket list adventures with work in this industry. A little bit, not so much, but yeah, it's been busy.
Well, okay, so I kind of want to rewind a little bit, and why don't you tell me a little bit about how this all started, and then a little bit about the process of building your business and what that was like.
Ooh, taking a trip down memory lane.
It's not
You're
that
right,
long ago.
the fifth sip tastes a little bit better.
I told you.
Guys, it's getting better. Hang tight. It feels like so long ago. Well, first it started by us meeting. I don't know if you want to go that far back.
How do we meet?
Oh gosh, you want me to tell this story? Okay, guys. So, it was this dark and stormy afternoon. No, back in the fall of 2017, Austen slid into my DMs. Just kidding.
You make it sound so creepy like that. I definitely did not slide into your DMs.
Okay, so we both were on Bumble, and we actually connected because my beautiful dad, who you probably have seen on a couple BTS scenes tutorials. He was in a couple of those way back in the day.
I don't think so.
Literally walking by or using my dad's shop, whatever. My dad's amazing. He's always helping us with everything. My dad swiped right on Austen because he saw a photo of Austen and he was like, ooh, how about that guy? And he has a super strong Swiss accent. And I was like, no, that guy's way too cocky for me. He's got all these bucket list travel like photos that he's going on, like not my style. Show off.
Yeah. And then, but what changed your mind to actually go on a date with me? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so we obviously matched, and then we literally did not stop talking. Everything that went back and forth was just super engaging, super fun. You had the best questions.
You know you can talk to me. You don't have to...
I don't know. What am I supposed to... You want me to look straight at you? Okay.
Yeah.
Everything was super fun. You had the best questions, and I just wanted to keep talking to you. And so then, like literally 2 days later, I agreed to go on a date with you, and we went down to the coast of California, and you took me out for some croissants, raspberry-filled croissants with your pup, Rye. And do you want to say something?
Oh, I was going to say, what percentage do you think that you might be getting murdered on your first date with me?
Oh my gosh. I thought I was going to get murdered like 100%. I was so scared, especially
but
when
you
I
still
started.
went on it?
Yeah.
And this is women for you guys.
No.
They think they're going to get murdered, but they'll still go.
No. I mean, obviously I had your picture and all your information, and you were pretty honest from the get-go. You're a very transparent person. But yeah, once I lost service in the mountains, I was like, he may be having me meet him at an undisclosed location. That is definitely super creepy. But it wasn't once I got there, so that was nice.
Well, to be fair, everybody wants to go to the movies for a first date. We do that
Who wants
now.
to go to the
We do that
movies
now.
for
That's
the
all we do
first
for
date?
our dates now. And the thing is, like, go to movies or dinner. I don't want to be eating in front of somebody that I'm meeting for the first time, but I also don't want to go to the movies. What I want to do is like get to know you, and the best way to get to know you is like put ourselves into both like an active situation and go out, like watch a beautiful view. And if the date sucks, at least you got a good hike out of it, right? So,
And a croissant.
yeah, it's true.
And some puppy cuddles and slobber.
Yeah, I actually knew that you were a good match because my dog is like 95 pounds and he is not the best trained, but he's a big lover, and he literally crawled in my old car. Like, he wouldn't stay back. He'd get so excited and he'd crawl over the armrest, and he crawled onto Kendall's lap. And like, he pretends, he does this thing where he like crawls onto people's laps, and then he pretends like he won't look at you. He won't make eye contact at all. So he pretends like he's not stepping on you, even though he's heavy as hell. And he also is a part mastiff, so he drools.
Literally.
And
just dripping.
he was drooling on Kendall, and Kendall was being actually the like best sport ever with this. So I knew then, I was like, oh, this girl's pretty chill. But I did know that you're probably the one for me when you decided to go to Mongolia and you would poop. Let me finish this. When you would poop in negative, 45-degree weather out in the middle of a hole in the middle of
With
nowhere.
Slats of wood over a pit.
Yeah.
It wasn't even
And I was
just a
like,
hole.
this girl's pretty chill.
It was a pit.
This girl's pretty chill.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that was wild.
I mean, I don't know. That wasn't the term. I was like, she's chill, guys. I don't know who I'm talking
She
to.
poops outside.
To my parents, I'm like, she's chill, guys. But yeah, I mean, honestly, once like we went through all that, and I was like, okay, this girl, she's not like one of those girls like, I'm one of the guys. Like, I like to hang out. And then I'm like, no, you're not.
No.
Kendall is a unique soul. And just like this whiskey,
Cheers.
you're enjoying it more now, yeah?
Sip number 6. It gets better. It gets better.
Yeah, you know that you're enjoying it if you're counting your sips.
All right, back to my story.
Yeah, so you met me. It was a whirlwind.
Oh my gosh.
What was one of the first things, I'm going to ask you, see if
Ugh.
you remember it and what words you'll come up with. What was one of the first ultimatums and things that I told you about myself that if you wanted to be part of my life?
You don't even have to go that far with it. I already knew exactly what you're talking about the first words you said to that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Austen has a never-ending bucket list, and it is full of wild ideas, but most of them I can totally get down with, and they were super fun and exciting sounding. So when he met me, he said, hey, I'm like
What am I?
I'm like a freight train. I am going towards my dreams and goals. If you want to jump on this train, you can come with me on this process and journey. But if you want to sit on the sidelines, if you don't want to join on any of this stuff, that's fine too. But I'm going to keep blazing forward. And I was like, yeah, let's blaze together. So I do think that we complemented each other a lot in our up growth into who we are today, as well as in our early days, as well as our businesses and where we've grown with those, because we would not be where we're at without each other.
100%.
I could easily say.
Well, I know. I mean, I would still be doing filmmaking, but
Yeah,
I don't know if you'd be.
No, I would not
No, you
be.
would not be.
I would not be in
So
photography.
Kendall wasn't a wedding photographer. She wasn't even a photographer. I mean, you could say that she was a photography
Amateur.
enthusiast because you
Yeah.
love taking pictures with your phone when
Yeah.
you go on travels and stuff like that. But yeah, she didn't do photography at all. And she actually started with me doing wedding, because I was doing a bunch of wedding videos as I was traveling the world, which didn't pay many bills. I was also doing wedding filmmaking because that did pay the bills. And I would take Kendall along as my second shooter, where she kind of got to learn the ins and outs. And I'm sorry, I'm talking over you.
That's exactly where I was gonna go next. Was that we did wedding videos, and we did 50 our first year and 80 our second year, and that might not sound like a big number, but that is a lot of weddings. Like, that is crazy. That's 2 to 3 a weekend. We were like workhorses going to these weddings. Austin's a trooper for actually editing them all. I literally just showed up and held the camera for the first like 20.
You didn't even know you were doing.
I didn't know what I was doing.
No clue.
But
how long did it take you to learn ISO, Aperture, and Shutter?
it took me a while. It honestly took me a while. It probably took me a year, which it sounds like
that's how long
a really,
it took me.
Yeah, it sounds like a really long time, but like for me to actually understand it and be able to then communicate it to someone else, it took me a year. And that's the thing, is like this process, like both of our journeys, like it seems like it's really fast, especially us looking back on it. I'm like, oh, that was a blink of the eye, like that just happened yesterday that we were starting our businesses, or that I started mine. But honestly, this has been a long term process, and a lot of time was spent failing or just waiting in limbo. So like I started my business, I picked up my camera and started advertising for myself in 2019, fall of 2019. And it wasn't until probably, I'd say end of 2020, so a whole year, for me to actually pick up momentum and start booking things regularly and feel like it was a full-time job. And so that's actually pretty fast. If you look at Austen's career, he started filmmaking when he was born. Like, he's just been filming things for fun forever.
Took me a little bit longer.
Girls mature faster. No, but he's been doing this for a lot longer. Even when I met him, he was just filming things for like our local chamber of commerce for like $150 for like some good videos. And he worked his way up from there. And that was only not even 4 years ago that you were at that point. And so, yeah, we grew up a little faster, but it takes a long time.
You want to catch me getting out of bed for $150.
Yeah.
So
it takes a long time to get to the point that you're at, but we also are the type of people that we don't sleep
all
for
of
it.
our effort
Yeah,
in there.
we don't sleep. We will put our career and our dreams and our goals and our aspirations first. And like that is the most exciting thing for us to do. We wake up, we're excited to work. We want to get the better shot. We want to strive for better, and we don't really take rest days. Like even tomorrow's Thanksgiving, like that's kind of crazy. Sorry, dating your podcast, but we're not going to take the day off tomorrow. Like we are both going to be sitting in our offices working. So it's kind of sad because I definitely look back and I regret. Hopefully that's not like a lot louder. I look back and I do regret not spending time with family and friends when we were growing our businesses, and like now we're kind of slowing down a little bit to grow them a little bit more.
Now we have the finances and time.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd say it's worth it. We got a lot of travel and cool things in there, but it is definitely an isolating endeavor if you're trying to grow a business and grow it fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Finished?
So, no, I'm not finished.
With my first
That sounded
one.
like sarcasm.
No,
sarcasm.
I'm not finished.
No, I'm not done yet. We got another cup to go.
I don't think I covered them.
Another goblet. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Let me shoot that really fast as I ask you this question here.
Okay.
So, one of my questions with that whole thing is, in that growing phase of your business and starting out, because I mean, I know it took a lot of encouragement for you. What was the hardest thing on dropping what you could say like the status quo of what life tells you have to do? Go to college, get a job, or get a job like that everybody else does. Mm-hmm. What was the hardest thing? Because I knew you were dead set on, she got her master's. I'll let you talk about it. So talk about all that, and then I'll just elaborate.
Yeah, so I love school. I think it's the most amazing place in the world. Now I'm understanding that YouTube University is great as well, though. I've learned almost everything I know about photography either there or from Austen or just trial and error. So that's been amazing. Not trying to down credit anyone that went to school for that, but I did pretty well figuring it out on my own, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm sure there's more to learn. There's always more to learn. But I originally studied communication studies, public speaking specifically, because I wanted to teach public speaking to individuals, specifically colleges. So I was extremely shy. I would not be sitting here talking to you guys. If you look at me and I look a little nervous, that's probably why, because there's a little shy girl inside of me still. But I took my public speaking classes in community college, and a light bulb just went off and was like, Kendall, you do not have to be shy anymore. You can be the outgoing, charismatic, bubbly, excited person that you feel inside that you're just too scared to show on the outside. And so from that point on, I made it like my goal and mission to be that person and be a resource for other people to feel as great as I felt, feel as confident as I felt, and feel as seen and heard as I felt. So I went on the path to study communications, specifically public speaking, like I said, and I got my master's in that, taught at a university for 2 years. It was the best time of my life. Like, it was my dream job. It made me so
That was before
happy.
She knew me.
Yeah, it made me so happy. But moving back to where we live now, I couldn't get a job in that, and it made me really sad. And so I tried to go the 9-to-5 route, looking for a corporation to work for, using my communication background. But it was just kind of the time period when no one was hiring, so that was a little bit difficult, and I felt really, really down about myself then. And that's when I found photography. But speaking to your question, the hardest part of letting go of society standards of what you should be doing, or the job you should have, or how you should feel, I still struggle with it today. I still struggle with feeling guilty for taking time off, or feeling guilty for going on a walk in the morning when I know other people are sitting on BART going to, or sitting on public transportation going to work, when I'm just kind of taking a walk because I can take a walk because I'm my own boss. Super empowering, but also a little bit I don't know, not scary, but it's different,
Yeah.
and you feel different, and then you feel like you might be doing it wrong.
But what was the hardest part as you were growing, though?
Realizing that it was okay to be your own boss and do whatever you wanted every day.
Yeah.
And but also figuring out what the next step was.
Yeah.
That is really hard to do.
I think the unknown, maybe, for me.
Exactly.
I think that was the biggest part. I mean, I wasn't in as I guess, dire of a financial situation with you as you were, because I was living at home. But I mean, it scared me. Like, I mean, it still scares me to this day. I'm like, what if I don't get any more work? I have this thing, like, you know, I still feel like an imposter. I don't feel like what I'm doing, like I'm actually like legit or anything. I'm like, I'm just like this like little YouTube hack guy or whatever, which is like not the case, but like that's how I feel. And I'm afraid that, like, you know, one day like everything just stops and you're like, what do you do? You know?
Yeah, but I mean, people believe in us, and that's the beauty of it. And people love what we do, and they appreciate what we do. And I think the more that we show how much we love what we do, more people love what we do too.
And that's why we talk about it 24/7, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so my next question for you is, I'm actually kind of curious about this, because I mean, you can tell me if this is true or not true. Where were you? I'm just checking.
What?
Where were you September 3rd?
I don't know.
No. What
I
I
can
was
check
gonna...
my calendar.
Yeah, it's true. This lady, literally, I'll get notifications. So we just went to my parents' house, and I got a notification. She wasn't even there. And I got a notification that said, talk to your parents about honeymoon. And I'm like, and it was like, as I was hanging out with my parents, I didn't write it because I'm not organized. This lady is the organized one in our relationship. I just kind of do my own thing and show up. Yeah. I got the easy job,
Organized
to be honest.
chaos.
Yeah. But so you, like, I mean, at least from when I met you, you weren't like, your life wasn't about like art or being creative in any kind of way. Like, you didn't seem like a very, like, not in a mean way, but like
Outwardly creative person.
yeah, I guess. I wasn't gonna say you weren't a creative person, but like, I mean, comparatively to me, where like everything was like, I wasn't like, oh, look at like the medium of that film and like blah, 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 and how it speaks to me. I've never been like that. But you know what I'm saying is like, I was into film. Like, I made that thing. You didn't really ever talk about being creative. So how is it being somebody that's like not creative, you know, because I was doing film my whole life. So how is it like being somebody that's not creative, or like, you know, like really being something that maybe you didn't even think was one of your skill sets, and then all of a sudden becoming in a field of creativeness?
I think it's a, it's not a skill, but it's like something inside of you that you can tap into, and not like a learned skill, but you can definitely tap into it and just kind of basically shift your mindset or shift your perspective to think more in that path. I don't know what to call it, but basically that's how I see it, because I was very creative. Like, I even before in like studying and when I was doing things that weren't specifically labeled as creative, go for it. Or here, just drink mine. It's too much for me. I can't drink that much.
Now we're gonna make Kendall look like the alcoholic.
I'll tossing them back. So I was creative in different ways. I love to not like scrapbook, but basically scrapbook and do things like that. But switching into this career path in this field, it's definitely a lot more challenging, and I do have to push myself a little bit harder to look at things a little bit more creatively, or to step outside of my analytical or my organized brain where I just want to get things done or put things in boxes, and say like, okay, so we don't need to frame that perfectly in the middle, but if we go off to the side and look at it from this angle and like add this little piece of prop to it or something like that, that is something that's like out of the box, looks a little bit better than what just, you know, someone would want to be like, oh, let's square it off and make it like perfectly even. So it does take me a little bit of more energy to be a little bit more creative like that, but I think that surrounding yourself with inspiring people really, really helps. And that's what I do. So I have my photography Instagram where I only follow photographer accounts or anything creative like that. So I can get inspiration from that, kind of be surrounded by it, surround myself with you, creative all the time, learn so much.
Unfortunately, with Cannons, you only have a 30-minute timer. We got distracted with our engaging conversation, so there's a lot that is not in there, unfortunately.
Missed out on some good stuff.
Yeah, sorry guys. Cannon and Austen drinking is not a good combination, apparently. But we're going to dive into questions now, so let's do it. First question, I already know it off the top of my head because we already did it. DC or Marvel, Kendall?
I'm gonna say Marvel.
Oh, you can change your answer now?
Yeah, I like the entertaining storylines.
Wow, really?
Quick fire, come on.
Thought out. Okay. Well, like I said, my favorite superhero is Batman, but I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love
that soundtrack.
You know that my favorite movies though are gonna be Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. All the new stuff I think is terrible from DC. Everything from Marvel I think is good. Like none of them like are bad.
Yeah.
Like I think they like all hover around, most of them besides Guardians of the Galaxy hover around like a 6 to a 7 on the score, right? Like they're entertaining, they're not
Bad
crappy.
reviews for that one.
I don't know. I think they're entertaining, not crappy, but they're not like amazing. Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing. First Avengers, amazing. Yeah, but that's pretty much my answer. DC or Marvel. I don't really have one or the other. I just wish they didn't have such crappy movies on the DC side nowadays.
All right, question number 2. How do you get sponsored by brands as a filmmaker?
Yeah, so the best way I would answer this is you want to build a following. Brands are not going to want to sponsor you if you're not having eyes on there. There's no reason for them to give you a product if you're not sharing it with anybody. That's going to be an incentive, incentivizing them to buy the product that you're promoting, right? So in the eyes of a brand, they're going to honestly want to hope that at least like 2 or more people, obviously more than that, are going to be buying it, because if they're giving you the product for free and you're only selling 1 maybe, then is it really worth it for them, right? And the best way to get views and eyes on your thing is the same thing about building a following. And the way that I tell you to build a following is being unique, being consistent, and also
Talented?
Oh yeah, and then also having the talent and skill. And what I was telling Kendall,
What?
sorry, I'm trying to rehash my questions now. What I was telling Kendall was that when I started, I'm not the best product filmmaker out there by any means, right? But I
Definitely
was
not. No, just
one,
kidding.
but I was one of the first to start doing tutorials, and I did them at the right time. And I also had a creative, unique side to my tutorials for product filmmaking. I did them right when the pandemic, not on purpose, but I did them right when the pandemic happened. There's a lockdown, and people started noticing my stuff. It was at home, and people at home wanted something to do that were filmmakers, and that is why
Traction picked up.
Yeah, traction picked up. But it wasn't only that carried it. It was also the skills and the creativeness, because it was like that, the skills and my creative ideas that were different from everybody else, where Daniel Schiffer saw that, and then he promoted me, and then that picked up even more. And then people saw that work, and then I got jobs, which created more. And then I got shout outs from other people, and then other people started following me, and they gave me shout outs because of the skill of my work. But you also need to be unique to get your foot through the door in the first place.
And now the companies that do seek you out are the companies that want to use your unique creativity.
I mean, I get sponsors or sponsor requests all the time, but you also want to find the ones that work with you as well, which is important. So
True. How do you achieve perfect focus on moving shots?
So you're going to go to your settings. It also depends on your camera. There's a few things that you're going to want to think about. So right now I'm rocking a Canon R5, and I'm using the RF, which is their lens system, their RF 100 macro for a lot of my shots. And that's going to be the fastest, even faster than the EF lenses where you have to use an adapter. Anytime you have to use an adapter, or it's not actually of that camera's brand, your autofocus is going to be a lot worse. So it's always going to work better. So for example, like using RF with the R5, or if I have a 1DX Mark II using the EF, or if I have Sony camera, then I'm using the Sony lenses, which I think are E mount. And that's always going to be working faster than if you're using a third-party brand. But then another thing is, a lot of people like to use the tracking focus, because you can move your camera all around and your subject will stay tracked and focused. That's actually a slower focus than if you use something like the single point autofocus. And that's what I do, is I always use a single point autofocus because it's just a lot faster. You're not going to lose that moment, and there will be no breathing in your shot. But then again, it also depends on your camera. Newer cameras like the Sony a7S III and the Canon R5 are going to have a lot faster autofocus. So if you don't have one of those cameras, it's going to be a little bit harder. But never fret, there's plenty of ways to get focus with your manual. By manual. And that just takes a little bit of practice by pulling with your hand like this, or actually buying a focus system, or using something like the Edelkrone, which is going to be an automatic focus system. So it really just depends on your situation. It's a little bit hard with information, but those are kind of like the tips that I can give you with that. So
You're like a walking dictionary on YouTube. It's crazy the way your mind works, and you could talk forever about something.
I want to start my company at USA, Texas. That's what I say. What advice can you please advise me? Please and thank you. I would give you the same advice I'd give anybody, that's anywhere starting their company, is you need to start practicing. And the best way to do that is doing spec commercials. You're going to have to invest a little bit of money. It can be cheap things, especially
Or something you have at home.
Yeah, that's true. And find something that you're passionate about. And say if you love shoes, film some of your shoe collections and do different shoe commercials. Watch and study as many shoe commercials as you can. Find styles that you like and try to
Emulate it.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, just keep practicing and practicing. And once you build up enough, start going to local companies. There has to be local shoe companies in Texas. I know there is. And you start going to them and be like, hey, look at what I can do. And you just start building like that. It's kind of like cold calling, but in person. You go in person, and then from there you can even go to different shoe companies on Instagram, and you just keep building and building. You're going to get 100 no's before you get a yes, but that is the only way to get known, is you have to put your stuff out there. Let people know that you're a filmmaker. Let them know and show them your work.
Next question.
Yeah.
Tell me about your gym life.
Is that a question?
Yes, on the bottom.
Okay, so my gym life. Well, I split my gym workouts into push, pull, legs, and shoulders. So what that means is it's gonna be 5 days of working out with a 1 day off, and then 5 days again. So I'm doing, for my pull, I'm doing back and buys, right? So I'm doing any bicep workouts with all my back workouts, which is gonna be like lat, row, I'm trying to think, lower back extensions, back flies. And then I'm doing, usually I like to do, because I don't really feel the machines too much when I'm doing curls. Like, it just doesn't do that. Or even like if I'm just doing curls with the dumbbells or anything. So what I do is I do supersets with my dumbbells. So I'm doing 4 sets of 14. And supersets means what I'm doing is I'm doing first waiter curls. I'm doing 14 at a weight that I can do. And then I'm doing wide curls, and then I'm doing hammer curls, and then I'm doing reverse curls. So 4 sets of 14, and you do all those in a row until you're burnt out. Take a break, take like a minute. You want to breathe like a minute in between your sets, and then jump into the next one. And then for chest and tries, it's pretty common. I'm always starting with bench, incline bench, chest flies, and then I don't know what you call the lower ones on the cables where you cross over at a lower angle. I don't know all the names of all of them. I've been working out for a long time. The trick with working out is eating healthy and being consistent. That's all it is. It's not, there's no secrets. You could be literally doing the stupidest stuff in the gym as long as you're actually lifting weights. Like, I'm not saying go to the gym and just talk to your friends. That doesn't do anything. But if you're actually lifting weights and you're not like doing, you need to be doing like your reps at this set and like making sure you're doing pyramid like this, make sure you're hitting these on this day. That doesn't matter as much as like if you're working out and you're tired afterwards and you're being consistent, you will gain the muscle. It just takes time.
Mm-hmm. And fueling yourself with protein.
Okay. Let's see. When picking products, have you ever had the company not want you to post or rep the brand? So people ask me this all the time, like, are you going to get in trouble for doing a spec ad? And what I tell people is, in movies, they will promote brands all the time without actually paid promotion. They'll use something in it. And as long as you're not showing that brand in a bad light, then the chances of you getting in trouble or them asking to take it down are very slim. And even when you're creating it, you're giving them free marketing material that like you're showing people. So usually, typically, they're not going to be upset with you doing it. I say though, I've never had this happen, but if they ask you to take it down, then just take it down. They're not going to sue you over it. It's like, there's nothing that you're hurting them. You're not defaming their company. You're not saying anything terrible about their company, you know, it's not something that you have to worry about. Just don't lie to people and be like, oh, I was hired by them, because that's not good, especially if they have a contract with some other company where they're not allowed to work. Like, they can get in trouble for that. So, you know, don't lie about it. Just post it and be like, hey, I did this for fun. So yeah. What are some tips to help deal with imposter syndrome?
Ooh, imposter syndrome.
Ooh.
Well, first tip is
Just drink through it.
it's never gonna change. Like, you're always going to feel like an imposter. It's never gonna go away. So it's more of a fact of coping with it, which is where the tips come in. So as long as you recognize that, you're always gonna feel a little bit like you aren't in the right place or that you don't fit in, just because, especially in a creative world, if that is this industry that you're in, you can always be better, you can always be growing, there's always someone better, there's always someone that's doing something different. So not focusing on what other people are doing, but focusing on what you're doing. Really put those blinders on and go towards your vision and goal, and make sure you know that it is yours and you have a why behind it, because that's gonna make you reach that goal so much quicker than if you just say, well, so-and-so is doing that, like, I wanna do that too, but you don't really have a reason why you wanna do it, like, because that's gonna propel my business forward, because I wanna travel to that location because it's meaningful to my family, whatever it might be. If you don't have a why behind it, it's really not going to make you succeed in that path. Some other things to deal with imposter syndrome.
I would just say, like, honestly, just do the best you can do. Don't worry about others. And then also do things that you're passionate about. Don't do things because, oh, like, this is a popular thing to do. If you don't like it, then don't do it. And from there, my advice is, I still feel imposter syndrome. So
You're not alone.
If I'm feeling it, then pretty much everybody's feeling it. And the point is just don't listen to it. Like, I still struggle with it. You just kind of just keep moving forward. It's never going to go away.
And if it's something to do with comparison in social media, just try to look at those accounts or things as either inspiration that you want to mimic or emulate in some sort of way, or if you can't stand it because it really is something that's triggering you in a negative way, unfollow them. It's not worth it to follow them and feel shitty every single day. If it's making you feel bad, it's not worth it. But if it is something that inspires you to be better and you can kind of take that angle with it, then you should go for that.
And also remember, you're only seeing people's highlights. You don't know all the struggle that they went through to get there. It wasn't like, oh, every time they make something, it's amazing or anything. You're not seeing what they're not posting, and you haven't seen the years of experience and struggle that they went through when they sucked. You know, so just remember that. Like, even if people come up out of the blue and you're like, wow, this person, like, I've never seen their stuff, and now they're like super famous and they're so good at everything. They had a lot of years of struggle. You just didn't see that because nobody notices non-famous people. You know, they just go underneath the radar.
And our minds are like focusing on the beautiful things and the amazing things, and we kind of filter out the things that aren't so great.
Okay. Which one of the 7 wonders of the world would you visit first?
I don't know all 7 of them.
I don't know either. I think I've been to Chichen Itza, if that's one.
Chichen Itza?
Pyramids in Mexico.
I've been that, but I don't think that's one.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, well, let's just say
that's the first one I've been to.
The regular pyramids, because that's the only one I know.
I want to go to Petra, but I don't know if that's
I don't think that's one either.
What is one?
I'm gonna look it up.
You look it up. I'll keep going. How often do you overthink set design to where you just feel the mental exhaustion? Kendall?
I'm sure you never.
Yeah.
When?
When you're like doing
editing?
your style sets and stuff like that.
Oh, no, I usually hire someone. I know they're better. If someone's better at something than you are, just hire them to do it. Or work in collaboration with them to build both of yourselves up, because
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because sometimes you just aren't as strong.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, I will set up entire sets and then hate it so much and then tear it down.
Yeah.
Because that is not my expertise.
We have been to a couple of them. Okay, so the seven wonders of the world.
It is one. Petra.
Nice.
That's the one I want to go to.
So there's the Great Wall of China. We've been there. Drink to that. Just kidding. Chichen Itza, which is the Mexican Yucatan state pyramids. Petra, and then Machu Picchu. Have you been there?
We have been to Machu Picchu.
Christ the Redeemer statue.
That's in Brazil.
Oh, Coliseum. I've been there.
Oh, I've been there too. I went outside of it. But
And the Taj Mahal.
I've been to a lot of them. I've been to India, but I never was in northern India. So.
Yeah, I've been.
Wow, so I guess I'd go to Petra.
Yeah.
I don't really care about
join
seeing
you.
the giant statue. I don't know. That doesn't seem.
I've
How's
seen
that even a
pictures
wonder
of it.
world? I don't know.
'Cause
Not,
it's
like nothing
giant.
against it, but like I don't know.
It's
just.
pretty big.
But like I mean, I feel like there's like other things and like.
Yeah. I think I've been to Chichen Itza.
How
too.
come none of the wonders of the world are like natural things? Is that the whole point of it?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well, then that makes sense because I'd be like, well, it's like a statue, but then I realize everything else is man-made too. Never mind. Okay.
All right.
So, next question, Kendall. And we're just gonna skip because I'm trying to find things. Are you going to have a Black Friday price for your course?
I don't have a course. I'm trying to work on presets though. Go for it.
I am, and I do. It is on sale right now from Wednesday to Monday. Don't miss out. I know that sounds like I just made up that question, but I swear somebody asked that.
Yeah, I did.
Somebody asked where I was based. I'm not going to tell you guys. Sorry about that. And can you make more? Oh, do you know if you can rent the Chronos 2.1 camera? You can. Borrow lenses. I've rented the Wave on there. So glad I rented it because I will say it, sorry, Free Fly, but not worth buying.
Borrowedlenses.com. Check it out.
Yeah, not sponsored. Again, we're not sponsored by anybody. So, but borrow lenses, there's other rental places. Okay, last question. Starting light setup. Okay, so that is a great question because there's a few ways you can go about this. I'm just gonna hop on over here because Kendall's not gonna answer this probably one. So there's a few ways you can answer this. There's a few ways you can go about this one, and you can buy a 3-point lighting setup off of like Amazon, which is gonna be probably like a New Year or anything like that. And if you're it depends on really where your budget is. But personally, it's kind of like, buying a pre-built computer over a computer that you can build yourself. I recommend going with something that's going to be cheaper if it's going to be your starting lighting setup, but something that is not like 3 lights already packaged into one, because the whole saying is buy once, cry once, meaning that invest at least money into solid gear so you're not having to buy new gear again after you buy the crappy gear, because the crappy gear will break down, the power output's not going to be that great. And so I would say if you're going to be buying your first lights, I would say buy the SLW60 by Godox. It's only $70. You get 3 of those. Yeah, it's going to be around $220. 70, 140.
I'm not mad.
140, 70, $210.
Okay.
Maybe.
So
$210, but then you're also gonna have to buy light stands. Those you can cheap out on a little bit more. You can find some cheap ones on Amazon, but again, they will break over time. They're gonna be more wobbly. But if you're not using them for like high stress situations, that would be my best recommendation than going over the 3-point lighting setup, because those are just not that great. And then if you want to add diffusions, which is eventually going to be kind of important, then I'd recommend the glow light strip boxes, the easy ones. They're called easy because you literally pop them in and they pop out. You don't have to put little rods in each one, which is so stupid with every other lighting modifier. These ones you literally just go boop, and it goes boop, boop. Good quality, cheap as well. And I'm saying cheap, I mean in my stands are cheap, so like you're looking around like $40 to $70 for each lighting modifier that you buy. The Godox comes with a cone, which you could use for your backlight. Then I'd say you get 2 soft boxes. You're really looking at, I know, like I said, cry once, buy once, or buy once, cry once. You're looking at like $500 for your starting lighting setup if you want to go that route. Or you can get something for like $120 that has everything, but it is not going to be great power and it is going to break eventually.
I know why your followers like watching your videos.
Why is that?
You're just so great to watch, and your eyes are beautiful too.
I was gonna say,
mesmerizing.
I
really
you're
like
so pretty the whole time you're talking. I was like, oh, I love this girl. So,
no, you're such a great speaker. It's mesmerizing.
Luckily, I didn't say it because it would have been cut out anyways. The point I was gonna say it, not because I would have cut it out, because we lost a lot of footage here. We were just talking for no reason.
This is our third. No, I'm just kidding.
So Kendall, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. But Kendall, would you say that I've kind of changed your mind a little bit about whiskey?
Yeah,
today?
I can drink 7 sips.
This is coming from a girl that doesn't drink.
I don't drink
She's
anything.
gonna drink wine.
I don't drink anything.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I told you guys I could turn anybody into an alcoholic. on this. That's probably where I'm gonna get demonetized from YouTube for
There
that.
you go.
Just joking. Drink responsibly. Make sure you're 21, 25 in some countries. And I don't know if that's true anywhere. But this is a little bit strong. I'm going to come up with something a little bit lighter and cheaper for not the next episode because we have a special guest all the way from a different country.
Ooh.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Whiskey Wednesdays with Austen.
And Kendall?
Sure.
Today?
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little something.
You saved a sip just for that?
No.
You dark.
All right, let's go.
All right, time for dinner.